Are you afraid of getting older? Do you feel you're running out of time? Do you feel lonely? Have you lost touch with your friends and your family? Do you feel all age is a loss? A loss of your precious time? A loss of people dying or divorcing, friends moving on in different directions. Your body has changed. You're wrinkled, you're balding, you're graying, your hair's thinning, you're getting a paunch. You lost the body you had when you were younger. You lost the friends you had. Um, Maybe you lost your children. They grew up in a way. Everyone thinks aging is a loss. All the negativity about it. But in this video today, we're going to embrace the beauty of aging. I'm going to help you age with grace. And we're going to talk about all those things. And we're going to do it now. Hi, I'm Sandra Wyllie. This is my mental health channel, where I come on and talk about my own personal struggles, having borderline personality disorder, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I talk about narcissism and my narcissistic mother. I talk about schizophrenia. And I wrote a book, Life with My Schizophrenic Father, my childhood memoir. I talk about the psychologists who I've had sex with for years, taken to licensing boards, the unethical things they've done, like exploiting me, and I wrote books about those too, and a plethora of other mental health related topics. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. And all I ask of you is your kindness and respect in the comments. Now, I'm going to tell you the benefits of aging, because so many of you, like myself, are afraid when we turn that decade. I know I was, when I turned 40, I thought it was the end of the world, and that was 40. But then I realized when I turned 50 that it wasn't the end of the world. It was just the beginning. Why did I think that when I turned 50, that it was just the beginning? I think when you get to a certain age, you no longer want to impress people, so you can be more of yourself. See, with age comes wisdom. You learn from the past, and you're no longer trying to impress people like you did when you were younger to fit in. You wanted to fit in with your in-laws. You wanted to fit in at school, in high school, and college. You wanted to fit in on the job. But when you're older, I find with me that I no longer have to fit in. I feel more control of my life turning 60 than I ever did at all when I was younger. I'm much more in control because I've learned a lot about people through being hurt. Yes, I had to have some growing pains of being devastatingly betrayed by my family, my mother, my cousin. I did a video about my cousin betraying me. My psychologist, when I went for help, who sexually SA'd me. Friends that turned their back on me at a time of need. So I learned a lot about people through the years. And from learning, I can make better choices now. Now I have more boundaries. Now my circle is much, much smaller. It's much better to have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. So it's much better to have some real good people who care about you, who you can be yourself with, than have 100 of these so-called fake acquaintances that aren't friends at all. And some people have mentioned comments about frenemies. Friends that really are not friends, or enemies. Why are they enemies? Because the one dangerous thing is they know things about you. Strangers don't know things about you. Friends, because you confide in them, they know things about you. So they know what buttons to push. They know how to get under your skin. So you have to be very careful who you allow in your life. And now that I'm older, I've set very high boundaries. I had no boundaries before. When I was younger, in my 20s, 30s, even my 40s, I had very little boundaries. Another wonderful thing about aging is that you have less time to waste. So time is of the essence, the most important, because you could, I was friends with someone, her husband was like 53, died of a heart attack. Never had any heart disease, never had any heart troubles or any issues, was healthy and fit. And then he went to the gym one day, he lifted a weight, and he dropped dead. 53. So time is of essence. So you can't squander it anymore because there's less of it to squander. And recognizing that, you set new goals, you have new priorities. And I want to do new things. You got that bucket list. Everyone has a bucket list in their head. I want to do this before I die. I want to do that. Well, now is the time to do those things. And you don't need a lot of money to do those things. I always was very poor. I never had a lot of money. But I've traveled now that I'm older because I have more, my kids are grown. When you're older, your parents are, if you're taking care of elderly parents, they're either not involved in your life or they're off in a nursing home. If you have children, they're adults now if you're older. So now is the time for you. Isn't this wonderful? Or you're retired or you're semi-retired. Now this time is for you, and you can just focus on you, not your parents, not your children, not your career. You can focus on you, and you can do those things and you don't need a lot of money. Like I wrote books. I always wanted to write books. I'm a writer. I'm a poet. I have published poems in magazines like this magazine, Ibbiting Street. Yeah, I have poems in 5 of these magazines. I have poems on Oddball magazine. That's an online magazine. And I started writing. I started writing in my late 40s. I started writing. My first book I published about 2014, 11 years ago. So yeah, in my 40s I started writing and publishing books. I started traveling more, going to Puerto Rico, going to Paris, going to Colorado. You're going to spend that money other ways. So you don't need to be rich to travel either. There's budget travel. I know there's timeshares. There's things you can do to travel even if you don't have a lot of money to do it. Take up new things like zip lining. Try have new experiences. I love new experiences. Travel opens the world up to you. It's wonderful. Like when I went to Colorado in the Rocky Mountains, I have never in my life seen mountains until I was 50. I mean, real mountains. These were huge. These were mountains, and I never thought I would be so impressed by mountains. If someone mentioned mountains to me, I'd say, it's just a rock. What's the big deal? But it isn't just a rock until you see it. So I try new foods. I travel. I write books. And then I started doing a YouTube channel. I started that 5 years ago when I turned 55. YouTube is, I think it's celebrating its 20-year anniversary coming up. And I saw all these people, and they were just like me. They weren't like movie stars or professional sportscasters or professional TED talkers, lecturers out there. There's a ton of them. Anthony Roberts, or what's his name? There's a ton of these famous people. And they were just, there's other women like me, my age, having a whole YouTube channel with like 30,000 subscribers, making money, coming on and saying, hey, I made $5,000 this month. And I would go, what? You can make money off of this? And I said, well, why? I have a lot to say. I was in my mid-50s. A lot of stuff had happened to me. You can watch my other videos to find out about my childhood, growing up I had very, very unusual and bizarre experiences in my therapies with these psychologists. So I said, wait a minute, I have a lot to share with people. And you do too. You don't know it, or you don't think you do, but you do. Every one of us has a story, okay? The older we get, more pages are added onto that story. And maybe some of you don't want to share that story with the world, but there's other things that you can share. You can share your wisdom or your craft. You can share your craft. And there's great ways to meet people by having a YouTube channel. I've given out my email address. I've become friendly with people. I've gotten to know about other people's lives. It's enriching. It's very enriching. YouTube is very enriching because we learn from other people, and other people can learn from us. And so I think when you get older, you need to develop a positive attitude. Okay, it's all a matter of how you see things. How do you see things? Do you see the glass half full, or do you see the glass half empty? And that's how, I see the glass as I can always pour more and more into my glass. All right, it's never at a set limit, because nobody knows, right? Someone at age 60 could live another 20 years. Someone at age 35 could get cancer and die the next year. Nobody knows. That's what I'm saying. So if your glass is whatever of water, you can keep pouring more into it. Keep resetting it. Keep resetting it. Keep refilling it. And how you live your life is how you either refill it or how you empty it out. You see what I'm saying? That's a new one. It's how you live your life. And look at me. I don't have any friends, okay? I've lost touch with people because I've developed much higher standards in my old age. I have boundaries for the first time in my life. I'm not going to let people walk all over me like I used to. So I know where I don't want to go there. No, I don't want to be friends with you. No, that's not okay. Before I had a girlfriend who was always late all the time. I waited. I talked about this in other videos, but then I said, you know what? My time is valuable. If you can't show up for me, then I'm not going to show up for you. And I stopped being friends with her. So I have more self-respect now that I'm older. Much more self-respect. I'm no longer a doormat. And that's very important. I've learned that. And as far as this body, it doesn't matter. If you exercise and eat right, you can maintain a good form no matter how old you are. I've seen videos on YouTube of women in their 60s and 70s and even later in life whose bodies look better than some women in their 20s and 30s. This is true. It has nothing to do with age. It has to do with how you take care of yourself, okay? So don't say, oh, well, look at this saggy skin like that, or look at this, It's how you take care of yourself, all right? You can be in good form at 70, and someone at 30 can be dumpy, 30 pounds overweight with a big fat stomach. It has nothing to do with age. It's how you take care of yourself. If you take good care of yourself, you can be in good form, okay? You can't fight gravity, but I've seen people who are, in their mid-60s and 70, and their body, is phenomenal, like really phenomenal. They go to the gym every day, and they work out, and they lift weights. They have a six-pack. They have, ripping biceps. The body of some of these people look like someone half their age, and they're in their late 60s. And if you look at their body, you go, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. So, it isn't age. It's what you do. What are you doing with what you've got? What are you doing with what you've got? The time you have left, what are you doing? What are you doing with it? What are you doing? This is your one precious life. What are you doing with it? If you're not doing what you want to do, it's never too late to start. As long as you wake up in the morning and you're breathing and you're mobile, you can get around. It's never too late to start doing what you've always wanted to do. People make excuses. I don't have the money. I'm too tired. You know why you're too tired? Because you're depressed. You're not getting enough sleep. You're not getting enough sunlight, vitamin D. You're not getting enough. You're not outside enough. I go to all the Nature Audubon Society. They have Massachusetts Audubon Society. Me and my husband are members of that. That means we get in for free. We pay a 1 year. It's very cheap. I don't know how much it is, but if you go a couple of times, you've already paid for your membership. My husband is not working right now. I don't have any income because my YouTube channel I'm monetized, but I don't make any money, really. The last paycheck I got from YouTube was in December. Do you know how much it was? $132 in December. I haven't got paid for it. January, February, March, April. This is the 5th month I haven't gotten paid. I will probably get paid this month because there's $99 in it, and you need $100 to get paid. So since December, I haven't gotten paid in all these months. But I come on here because I feel passionate about helping people. And so I get outside of myself, and I don't think about myself. I don't think about, why am I doing this? I'm not getting any money for it, doing these videos every single day, because I want to help other people. I want to help other people through my experiences in life. And I want to share my life with you. And in turn, I hope that you share your life with me. And so we can grow together and we can learn from each other. And that feels wonderful, that connection with you. My connection with you is very enriching. And you can have these positive connections too. You don't need to, join some fancy club or something, or go miles and miles away somewhere, or just by, reaching out to people on YouTube and making those connections with people who are similar, who have similar experiences, who are going through similar life changes as you. It's very, very enriching, and you won't feel as alone. I don't feel alone because I'm connecting with you. You are my special friend. Every day when you show up for me and I show up for you, we feel that exchange. We feel that connection. I'm not the only person in this world who has no friends. Google it on YouTube. There's millions and millions of people on YouTube who have no friends. People are much more selective now than ever. They're taking better care of themselves, better care of who they spend their time with, better care of what they want to do with their time, how they want to spend their time, and who they want to spend their time with. And this is very, very important too. To enrich our lives, set new goals, all right? Your attitude, having a positive attitude, setting new goals, trying new activities, being fit. Just go for a walk. You don't have to. I hate exercise. You don't have to exercise. I don't go to the gym. I just go on nature walks, nature trails, Audubon societies. You know what I see? I see woodchucks. I did a whole video on a woodchuck. I see beavers. I see otters. I see blue herons, big blue herons. And it doesn't cost me a dime to do this. I go by lakes and on ponds, on board. I love boardwalks. And it invigorates me to get that fresh air, to see nature and animals in their natural habitat. I see coyotes, I see raccoons. It's invigorating, and I get inspired. I write poetry. I write books. I do my YouTube channel. And I don't care what people think of me. I did a whole karaoke channel at 55 years old. 50. That's how I started my YouTube. At 55 years old, I got up, I got all these different wigs and all these different costumes. Guess why? All my life I had a theatrical side. I always wanted to be like an actress, right? And a singer. I always wanted to sing and be a singer. So at 55, I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to get up there in wigs and costumes, and I'm going to do karaoke. I'm going to do sexy karaoke, and I just have fun. And I did it. I put a karaoke channel. That's how I got started on YouTube at 55 years old. And I didn't, and other people said, are you crazy, old broad? You know, put your clothes on, you old broad. Or, you know, you can't sing. That was one of my friends told me, you can't sing. You can't do this. You can't do that. Well, she's no longer a friend of mine, obviously. Because no one tells me I can't. Nobody. Not anymore. I don't listen to them. I do whatever I want to do. I like to try new experiences. I like to go new places. I like to try new things. I love to be outside in nature. And you know what? I feel invigorated and passionate. Every morning I get out of bed, I'm very passionate and very invigorated to start the day because I'm doing what I love to do. I no longer follow the herd. I no longer, have to be someone's mother or someone's sister-in-law, or daughter-in-law, or have to maybe that 9-to-5 girl I used to be working in the office. Work 9 to 5, wear the dress, wear the high heels, then come home, make the dinner. To hell with that. That's not me. Finally, I'm comfortable in my own skin. See? That's the beauty of aging gracefully. The beauty of aging gracefully is to finally feel comfortable in your own skin. If I can do it, you can do it too. I used to hate the way I looked. I was fat. I had acne all over my face. Another thing about aging is no acne. I never had a pimple after 50. Before then, I had pimples all over my face. When you get older, your skin dries out. It dries out. It's a natural occurrence as you age. Other parts dry out too. Here's the thing about sex. Use it or lose it. That's both for men and women. Use it or lose it. I have a better sex life now in my almost 60 than I ever had when I was younger. I was too tired from working and taking care of little kids and worrying about birth control. When you're older now for a woman, guess what? You don't have to worry about birth control. It's sexual freedom, people. You don't have to worry about taking a pill or, what birth control you're going to use. No worries. You're not going to get pregnant. You have no more eggs. So it's sexual freedom. There's a lot to aging that people don't talk about. Positive aspects about it. Like the wisdom you gain, too. That you didn't have all those years later. If I only was the person I am now. If I only knew the things I knew now back 20 years ago. Jesus, my God. It would have made a huge difference in my life. But you know what? I'm not going to look back with regrets. I'm just going to move forward with what I know now. And I take good care of myself. I eat fruits and vegetables. I get like 8 to 9 hours of rest every day. I exercise. I get out in nature. Every single day I get outside and go for a walk in nature. Every single day. I dye my hair now. Before, I never dyed my hair. I let my hair, I'm doing things. I'm doing my own thing. I don't care what people say or about me that I'm crazy or whatever. I'm doing my own thing. And I'm more fit now. I'm more physically fit than I was when I was younger. I always carried an extra 15 to 20 pounds on my body when I was younger. Always. And now I find it, I just have more energy. I'm just more energized. I'm going to be 60. July 11th, I will be 60. And hey, this is what 60 looks like. This is what 60 can do. And I want you to do that too. If you are interested in any of these books that I've published here, the link is down below. They're all available on Amazon. If you would like to contribute to my channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. The link to that is below too. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner. That way you'll be notified each and every time a new video of mine comes out. Give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends, your family, on your social media platform. If you would like to write to me, I'd love to hear from you. I will write you back. My email address is down below too. It's Leanne, LEEANN 827 @hotmail.com. And I'd love to hear from you. Either way, whether you write me in the comments or you write me a private email, I will get back to you. I always do. And until next time, you have a great day, and keep answering those polls, those questions I post. I post polls on my YouTube so that I get an idea about you guys. You know, I ask you questions and you answer back, so I get to know you better. And I love, love, love getting to know you. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.